Good evening, I'm Cole Hartman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Major League Baseball is currently in their mid-season break, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. prevailed in the home run derby last night. Randy Arena made things interesting, but Guerrero bested him 25-23 in the final round. And tonight, it's the battle between the American League and the National League in the All-Star Game. Garrett Cole of the Yankees has the start for the AL, and Zach Gallen of the Diamondbacks for the National League. First pitch is set for 7 p.m. at T-Mobile Park out in Seattle. The Big Ten Conference announced the opponent rotation for the 2023-24 wrestling season earlier this afternoon. The Huskers are set to host Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, and Purdue, and they will travel to conference matchups with Minnesota, Northwestern, Penn State, and Wisconsin. The complete schedule will be released with more details on dates and times when that is finalized. Turning over to NU men's hoops, the date and location has been released for the Huskers and Blue Jays game. The game is set for Sunday, December 3rd at PBA, with tip-off time and TV information to be determined. And finally, some NBA Summer League updates. Just 2 games currently in progress. The Nets and Bucks are knotted at 40 each in the half, and the Rockets lead the Thunder 34-31 with 9 minutes to play in the second. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now get ready for a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Simon gets the shotgun snap. Huskers send a corner blitz. Simon step throws. Pass intercepted. Picked off by Miles Farmer.
Go,
to the 35, to the 30. Rope tied down to the 27-yard line. Miles Farmer's 4th career INT.
Yes!
3 eligible to the near side. Back to throw is Morgan. Stepping up. Gets hit. Dropped. Oh, he got drilled at the 18-yard line. Ty Robinson's 2nd sack of the year. I think he took his shoes off with that hit.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Lee, we're so glad you're joining us. Got a great show ahead for you. Cannot wait. We have coming up in hour number 2, couple of Wasshopper of interviews. We have Garrett McGuire, wide receivers coach, will be stopping in before Greg Sharpe left on vacation. He's out this week, but before he left, he was able to sit down and start his summer series of chatting and breaking down the position groups with each of the position assistant coaches, the position coaches of each group with Nebraska football. So coming up tonight, we're going to hear from wide receivers coach Garrett McGuire. So that will be a great one. And then also in hour number 2, Xavier Betts, wide receiver. So we'll talk to the wide receiver coach and the wide receiver. Coming up here in just a few minutes, Jeremiah Searles. I was finally able to wrangle him in and lock him down. He's going to be on the show tonight. So I'm telling you right now, if you have any, he's going to be calling in live. He's driving right now. So if you have any questions that you want me to ask Sirles, you can text in. I'm not sure we'll be able to take phone calls since he's calling in. So if you have any questions that you want me to shoot Jeremiah's way, get those in on our text line 402-413-2400. So yeah, Sirles coming up here in just a few minutes here in hour number 1. Xavier Betts, what an incredible story. We're going to hear more from him, as I mentioned, in hour number 2. Cole, what was the most amount of credit hours that you took in one semester?
The most was it was early on when the classes were easier too. It was maybe 15, 17, 15 maybe, 16, 17, one of those.
Okay, so I was thinking mine was 18. I took 18 one semester, but it was a lot of kind of elective classes to get them all in, right? I think I took the theory of coaching wrestling, which is actually kind of hard. You would think it was easy, but it was not, because I didn't know much about wrestling at the time, but it was a fun class. But other than that, that one was actually a little bit challenging for me. But I took some other, I think it was an internship, so it was kind of a lot of hours that added up, but it was 18 was the most that I took. And again, I think it was my last semester. It was my senior year just to get all my credits in. Xavier Betts took 21 credit hours in the spring. Yeah, so once I think most Husker fans know his story well, the local kid. He quit the football team last year and then wanted to get back and had some conversations with Coach Rule and this new coaching staff, had actually entered the transfer portal and then decided to stay here, stay put with Nebraska. He talks about those conversations with Coach Rule. And then one of the things that he had to do to be able to get that eligibility back was take 21 credit hours. I cannot even grasp that because I remember how hard 18 was, and I wasn't playing college football. And again, my 18 was, I preface that by saying it wasn't like a hard 18, and so I can't even imagine. So yeah, just really, really impressive. And I think he's really, really excited, really thankful to be back a part of this team. So we're going to hear from him along with his position coach, Garrett McGuire, coming up in hour number 2. So a fun show. And then stay tuned for Jeremiah Searles. So yeah, once again, get those questions in. Another big news story that came out today is that Jordan Larson is going to postpone her retirement, come out of retirement. She came out of retirement already and played for Team USA, and then she's going to pursue and try to help this team, Team USA, win back-to-back gold medals. And, I mean, just so impressive what she's done with her athletic career. And I remember it was one of my very first interviews I did when I started here in the summer of 2021. She had just gotten back after winning gold, and I was so blown away by her. I relate to her so much because in her announcement, she talked about being a small town kid and where it led her. And I was a small town kid. I had 18 people in my graduating class. And so it's just such an inspiration to see what she's done and what she continues to do. And what's also neat about that too is that we've been doing all these interviews with these freshman players, right? They've come in here and they've sat in here, and I've asked a few of them about Coach Jordan Larson joining the coaching staff, and they just grin from ear to ear, and how much she's a role model and how big of a part she was of. Also, I think it was Harper Murray, who we had on last night, said that she was part of her decision to want to come play here. But now, for her to be on the coaching staff, but then also knowing that she's going to be an Olympian again, that's the caliber of athletes that John Cook brings in here to Nebraska, are athletes that have the goals and dreams and absolute potential and the path to play for Team USA. So I could not even imagine as a young woman that age to be playing for someone like Jordan Larson, who is actually in it right now as we speak, pursuing those Olympic dreams and playing for a gold medal. It's so neat. It's so awesome for these young athletes to get to play for someone like that. I reached out to Nick Burkhart, he's the digital guy that helps cover the volleyball team. I said, is there anybody else in collegiate volleyball that can say that they have a current Olympian on their coaching staff, on the volleyball program? He said, I don't think so. I know that the official Olympic teams announcements, because I was looking this up last night when I was looking at the track and field athletes and what they were able to do at the national championships to qualify for the world championships. Those Olympic trials, the teams for like the track athletes, for example, are not put together until next summer. And so I'm assuming that the final volleyball roster will be put together. So there might be a couple of players that are coaching. I'm not sure on that, but what a neat deal. And as if this volleyball team needed any more recruiting tools, recruiting firepower right there. I mean, how cool is that? And just so impressive what Jordan's been able to do with her career and the longevity of it, and one of the best to ever do it. Really, really awesome. So cool for this program, for these young players that a lot of them aspire to do that, to go play for Team USA and try to play for an Olympic gold medal. So awesome on that. All right, on the not so fun news that has continued to develop, it was during the show last night that the news broke that Pat Fitzgerald was fired at Northwestern. It continues to get messier, and there's still so much drama, and it's far from over. So Michael Schill, who's the president, to me, just did not handle it how it needed to be handled from the start, and tried to hide it, and then came out that on last Friday, that here's what the findings were. They didn't release the full report. They didn't have to, since it's not a private institution. And so, yeah, it just kind of was not very transparent about it. And so then they have these conversations with Pat Fitzgerald about okay, this is what the findings were. Okay, this is what your punishment is going to be. And then I think as the weekend unfolded, it got so much media attention and so much media coverage. And I think there was some pressure there from some of the board members, some of the higher ups, the leadership team there at Northwestern, didn't like how it was unfolding. And so I just don't think the president there at Northwestern looks very good coming out on this. I will tell you this, Jeremiah was actually recruited. I think I'll ask him coming up here in just a few minutes. I'm pretty sure he wanted to or was maybe looking at Northwestern, but ultimately didn't have the grades to get into Northwestern. But I know that Pat Fitzgerald was a guy that he really respected. So we'll get his thoughts on that. But man, what a really tough time to try to replace a football coach when you are less than a month out from training camp and trying to figure out how this is going to work. And it's just, it's again, like I said, it's been really messy because you've got players coming out in support of Coach Fitzgerald. You're hearing about the team meeting that the president of the AD didn't really communicate much, didn't answer questions. They just kind of made the announcement and then bolted and kind of left these student athletes high and dry. A lot of them that signed up to play for Coach Fitzgerald and this coaching staff. And so I couldn't imagine being a player in that locker room either, and the uncertainty and the drama that's unfolding while you're trying to get ready to play a football season. So yeah, it's just not very pretty there. And now it was also later last night that their Coach Fitzgerald put out a statement. It sounds like now there's legal involved and going to maybe see about the if it was even something that he could be fired for. And so, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that continue to unfold. But as mentioned, just not an ideal time to try to be looking for a football coach. So we'll ask Jeremiah about that coming up. But that was pretty crazy. Again, I said this last night, but it just happened so fast. And, you know, we talk about a Friday news dump of when there's news that you don't really want to be really wildly reported on. A lot of times you put it on a Friday so that maybe it gets buried or doesn't get talked about much. But then the daily Northwestern, the student newspaper, comes out with a couple of different articles, not a good look. And then, yeah, it just unfolded so quickly. And here we are, 3 weeks out or less than a month out. And Northwestern has ousted the winningest football coach, one of the most, I guess, pillars of their football program in its entire history. So not good news up there. I kind of stand by. I can't believe that if again, this was going on for so long, that it didn't leak out before, that this is kind of the first that we're hearing about it. If it's been going on for decades or 10 plus years that we're just out hearing about it. I also think that's why he probably took responsibility, that even if I didn't know about it, because that's supposedly what the report said, that there's evidence that he did not know about it. But I also said this last night, as the head coach, it's your job to know about it. So, you know, just a messy situation there. But like I said, we'll chat with Jeremiah about that coming up here in just a few minutes. I see a couple questions there coming in for Jeremiah, so we'll make sure and check those out and get to him. Again, he's driving, so Cole's going to give him a call. And we got lots coming up here on the show, but we're going to get to our first break, so we have plenty of time to chat with Jeremiah. 402-413-2400. The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Jeremiah Searles up next here on Sports Nightly.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, you think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Hey, congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. Engineering professor Ronald Faller has been named a Fellow of the National Academy of Inventors, the highest professional honor among academic inventors. As director of UNL's Midwest Roadside Safety Facility, Faller has played a key role in developing innovative roadside safety technologies that are used around the world. Faller has earned 8 U.S. patents and 3 foreign patents over his 35-year career.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. and Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Husker fans, the 2023 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support celebrating the 100th year of Memorial Stadium. Purchase a special Husker football Through These Gates mini plan. For only $100, you will be at the Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech games, plus your choice of one home Big Ten game. 3 games for only $100. Tickets available while supplies last. Purchase your Through These Gates mini plan today. For more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. Greg Sharpe out this week, and we've had several requests over the last month or so, we've had some texts, the chat, missing Jeremiah Searles. We have not heard from him in a while, so we thought it was time. I finally lined him up, wrangled him in. He's driving, but he's kind enough to spend some time with us. Searles, finally, back with us on Sports Nightly.
I know it's been too long. It's been one of those months. You know, I've been the last 14 days. I've spent 2 nights in my own bed. So just that busy time of year, grinding, trying to sign these college kids, and things will slow down, as I keep telling myself one day, but not sure it's true. It might just be a lie to myself, but I need to believe it.
Listen, you have 3 kids. It's not slowing down from here on out.
Shh, Jessica, I need that lie in order to wake up every morning.
Well, I mentioned we've had actually had someone ask when's the next sideline slice. We do have word, thanks to our friends at Valentino's Pizza, we will be back for a 3rd season of the sideline slice. So we'll start taping those probably closer to fall camp. But again, wanted to just get Sirles on here, do a little catch up through the summer. Again, helping me out since I'm flying solo. I'm not very good at this solo thing, so appreciate you helping us out. I wanted to start with, let's go back to, I don't know, what, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, you were actually on campus during one of the big recruiting weekends, right? And brought in a special guest?
I did. I was lucky enough to get Bert Kreischer to come out and come tour the facility. If you don't know Bert, he's one of the biggest comedians in the world, one of my favorite comedians as well. And I reached out to him via DM. He was doing a show in Lincoln. And I was like, hey, you want to come through the facility? And that turned into a full lift to him trying to kick a 40-yard field goal. We came really close to getting Matt Rule to take his shirt off and take a picture with the machine. But nonetheless, it was a ton of fun. Super great show, and just cool to get him to show him around Nebraska because it's the coolest place ever.
What has been your feel on just recruiting, just the overall, you've been around a little bit over these last few months, just kind of what's taking place around here inside this football program?
It's exciting. You know, it's exciting. Every time you see a new name pop up or you see some momentum building, I mean, that's what this time of year is all about. Building momentum, not just on the football field, but on the recruiting trail, on the program side. I mean, the new facility is going to be open soon, so there's just a ton of excitement building up to the first kickoff. And, you know, whenever you can have a lot of excitement, it makes your job and Greg's job a lot easier with something to talk about. But at the same time, it's just going to lead to good things for the program. You know, whenever more people are saying good things about the program and a lot of people around the country are hearing it, you know, that goes to recruits, that goes to fans. So I think there's just a great excitement building around Big Red right now. And, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm really excited for that first kickoff on Thursday night.
You know, a couple years ago, you and I and Greg did a signing day special, and that year, there was not an offensive lineman in the class, and I remember you being a little bit concerned about that. And already this recruiting class that's been addressed. I know Coach Rule has talked about the amount of linemen that he wants to carry in a room. But ideally for you, how many offensive linemen what would be the perfect number in a recruiting class of offensive linemen?
4 to 5. I think especially nowadays with the recruiting, with the transfer portal and whatnot, like, there's no giant secret. You and I have talked about it on the podcast. You don't just find a good offensive lineman in the portal. You build good offensive linemen from the ground up. And that comes from recruiting, getting them in your building, getting them in your strength program, turning them loose over to Corey Campbell and company, turning them into the development groups with Coach Raiola. And they build over the first year or two before they're really ready to go. And that's how you see these teams that year after year are putting guys in the NFL. They weren't transfers in. They weren't on the portal and all of a sudden found a home. They were homegrown from day one. They stayed in the same program. They were able to get better at their craft. They had solid coaching from day one. You know, and all those things lead to team success. And when you have good team success, you have good individual success. But that all just comes with recruiting the right kind of guys, from developmental guys, guys that will maybe be ready to play early, and getting in the room and keeping that core group together through their whole college career. I mean, my senior year, we had 5 starting offensive linemen that all came in together. And we grew together. We became close together. We became best friends. We're still best friends to this day. And that means something. And we were able to get out on the field and compete with each other and play games with each other, and that leads to success. So I think you sign 4 or 5 every year because guys aren't going to make it the whole time. And you just start building that group and letting them grow better and better together until those 5 are on the field that they're producing.
So kind of on that line a little bit, we got a text in on our text line. Ask Jeremiah, what are the biggest things he's looking for on the O-line to know they are heading in the right direction?
I think a big thing for me is, first of all, I would love for all 5 guys to be solidified early in camp so that you can start really working with those 5 guys. And then when we come out there on game day, I'd like to see mainline communication, right? Starting with the center, if that's Ben Scott, hey, everyone's lined up, no MAs. If the play's going to the left, you don't have 4 guys going left, 1 guy going right. And then also, I just love to see some dents in the run game. I'd love to see guys getting blown off the ball, defensive linemen in the linebackers' laps. I'd like to see some creases for our running backs to run through. And then also, let's keep that quarterback's jersey clean. Let's not be picking them up off the ground. I think those are all things that we took steps in last year. But those are things I'd like to see us come out of the gate doing, right? You've got Coach Raiola now with multiple years working with his guys. Everyone knows what he wants taught. Everyone knows the techniques. It's going to be a little bit different offense. But pass protection and run game, that's a technique-driven world. And I think that Coach Raiola has had enough time that everyone should be able to execute those techniques. And I want to see 5 guys across the board doing it the exact same, keeping each other accountable, and that's how we're going to win football games.
Okay, and we're going to get into the weeds a little bit about this probably, but that's what we do when we talk about offensive line. How do you know that? Is it just, how do you get to that point where it is a mirror and you have that cohesive unit? I mean, just the repetition and time? How do you know when you get to that point, I guess?
Just reps and reps and reps and reps. You can never have enough reps together. You need to have 5 guys operating as one unit. And I always say that the tell of a really well-coached offensive line is when they're all just little robots of each other. Mm-hmm. Like you watch the left tackle, you watch the right guard, and if it's an inside zone, they're all taking the same step. They're all thrown to the same landmarks. Their double teams look crisp, right? And that only comes with time. And that's one reason I think we've had some not as much success as we'd like on the O-line last year, is because it's been so many guys rotating in and out. Like you haven't had solid 5 that are just able to get in there and just roll through the entire time. Right, like you got guys getting hurt, Teddy gets hurt, and you got Turner moving in there, then you have a guy going from right to left, left to right. Like there wasn't a lot of congruency, right? And so if we can start seeing some congruency and start seeing guys really working together all through camp into the first few weeks of the season, that's when you start really seeing the offensive line as a whole, not just individuals, but like the whole group start taking big steps in their success.
So when we get into the podcast, when it gets into fall camp, we'll dive all into the offensive line. But for the folks here listening tonight on Sports Nightly, give me the one offensive lineman that you were most excited to see where they're at this season. Just
Ben
one.
Scott.
Ben Scott.
Ben Scott. Yeah, I think whenever you bring a center transfer in, the center position is such a natural leadership position. And when you bring a guy in from a different team, and he has to step into that position role, like he has to earn his respect right away from his teammates. I think that was built through the spring, but the center is the heartbeat of the offensive line. They make sure everyone's lined up. They make sure everyone knows what they're doing. And then you've got to be a physical, tough SOB in there that's willing to have the hard conversations to hold your guys accountable. And I've seen Ben Scott do it on tape in Arizona State. I'm really excited to see what he can do at Nebraska at a Big Ten against higher competition. Not throwing shade at the Pac, but it's not the Big Ten. We're really excited to see the leaps that he takes. And then also I just love to see, I'm going to throw a second one in there, even though I didn't ask, is Teddy. I want to see Teddy. I want to see Teddy healthy. I mean, I've seen such great flashes of what he can be, but unless he stays healthy through the whole season, it's going to be hard to see it really put together. Those 2 guys are definitely penciled on my must-watch during fall camp list.
So I had to sit down, a pretty lengthy conversation with Gus Felder, who's the director of player development, who I'm sure you've already talked to because O-line flock together no matter if you played together or not. But I found myself laughing, and I asked him this because he's saying a lot of the same things you've said, and we've talked about this a lot too throughout our podcast, that I have a good friend that I worked with at Oklahoma who you played with, Gabe Eichert, and you kind of, a lot of times you hear the same lingo, and he's talking about, I asked him about the leadership of the O-line, and he said, look, you're the biggest dudes on the team, you got to have a presence when you walk in that locker room. How many times have you said that? He said, because it's not football without the offensive line, it's just 7-on-7. I mean, it was like, I just found myself laughing because it was almost the exact same things that I've heard you say for 2 years.
I mean, I take my job to educate as well, Jessica. You know, you got to just educate everyone out there about the importance of the big uglies up front. You know, we're an unsung hero. It's always our fault when things go wrong. You know, but without us, nothing can happen on a football field without the offensive line at any level, high school, college, NFL. It does not matter. And anyone that's been around successful teams, especially at the NFL level or even the college level, it's always been like, man, that offensive line was really special, or that offensive line was really good. And so when you have guys that want to build special teams, they put a really, really big emphasis on the offensive line. And so we all seen it. We know it. It's not a you know, but I think for the most part, you can just continue to build from the ground up. Continue to build from the line. It's going to work.
I think we're losing you a little bit.
Nope, I'm here. Sorry, my truck is being weird and trying to disconnect my headphones.
All right. Well, I got to ask you, because I said I thought you were recruited by Northwestern, but didn't quite have the grades. Is that right?
Correct. They asked me to retake my ACT, and I told them no, and they said, best of luck.
Well, your initial reaction, I know you had a great respect for Pat Fitzgerald. You kind of have insight a little bit with Northwestern. What was your take on it, and how tough that is for a football program at this time when you're talking about less than a month out from fall camp?
Yeah, you know, first of all, the stuff that's coming out, that's really saddening to hear, you know, that nothing like that should ever happen in the locker room for brothers. You know, but my heart really goes out to the players on that team.
Yeah.
The seniors especially. You know, the guys that have sweat, grinded for everything that they want in front of them, and to have a month before your senior season to just have your head coach ripped out from behind you and everything just kind of in turmoil when you still have to try and focus on the task at hand, which is go to win football games in the fall. You know, so my heart just goes out to those players. My heart goes out to that team. You know, and I mean, obviously everyone that's involved in some of the stuff that was going on there, my heart goes out to them too. You know, but that just whole situation is terrible. I feel horrible for everyone involved, and I don't wish that upon any type of football player.
Who do you think Northwestern could get or should target?
I have no idea. That's a special job to try and get. You know, you have to understand who you are as a program, and I think that's why Fitzgerald had such success. He knew, hey, I'm going to be a little hampered in recruiting. I have to recruit the right kind of guys, not just athletically, but academically. And, I mean, it's a tough gig. I mean, they're going to have a hard time replacing a guy like Fitz. I mean, anytime you have a coach that's been coaching there for what feels like 50 years, you know, that's going to be a hard thing to try and come in and replace. So I honestly have no idea who is going to try and take that job, because it's going to take a special kind of coach to try and come in there and replicate the success that Fitzgerald had.
All right, just got a couple more because we got to get to a break here. But I did want to ask you, you just had this week the Team Jack golf tournament, right? How special was that? I know you guys you're super involved in that every single year, and a lot of people come back to try to be a part of that.
Absolutely. No, it's so great. It was our second annual Team Jack golf tournament. It was fantastic. The guys out of Wilderness Ridge were incredible. As always, you know, guys flew in. Kenny Bell was there, Jared Crick, Austin Allen, Travis Volklek, Cam Jurgens, some recent Huskers. You know, and we're just trying to continue to find ways to raise money to fight pediatric brain cancer. You know, it's something that it's crazy to think that was over about 10 years ago that first happened with Jack running the touchdown. And to see where it's grown, raising over $12 million for pediatric brain cancer just through that foundation alone, been fantastic. We actually have Tyson's Treasure Chest golf event this Saturday, which is another foundation that I'm on the board of. That is for raising money for pediatric brain cancer. So it's definitely a cause near and dear to my heart. The fact that Nebraskans rally around it so much is fantastic, and it's just something that we're never going to stop fighting for.
Also this weekend, this Sunday, is the road race, which we've been talking a lot about. That, again, like you were mentioning, all the proceeds go back to pediatric brain cancer research that stays right here in the state of Nebraska. And you alluded to this, but just the longevity of it. This is the 11th annual. This has been a long-term commitment from Nebraska football that for generations of Nebraska football players have embraced Team Jack and this cause. How special is that to be a part of something like that? And I guess why has this been something that from each each year, and even new coaching staffs that come in, and with all these new different players that come in, they continue to pass it down, and it just remains such a special thing for this program.
No, it's a privilege to be a part of it. It's an honor to be a part of something like that. I got to play football. I got to play a kids game for a living, which gave me a platform to be able to fight for those that can't. And those kids that are fighting pediatric brain cancer should never have to go through something like that. So I think that echoes within all athletes. And, Nebraskans, we protect our own. And it being a homegrown-based company, it being a fact that it was literally, it originated in Memorial Stadium, I think that when you come to Nebraska and you hear that story and you hear what it is and you start to fall in love with that it's not something that's just a fad. It's not something like, oh, I'll just do this while I'm here. Like, it leaves a lasting impression on you. And when you can go and move on to the next level, or you can move on to the next stage in your life, it's not something that just goes away, because those kids still fight every single day. Kids still die every single day because of pediatric brain cancer. And if we can even do a small part to help save one kid's life, or we can do a small part to find a cure, which is the ultimate goal, we're going to do it. And I think that goes far beyond sports, goes far beyond athletics, and it just really comes down to our core as athletes and really our core as Nebraskans, which is we love other people. We love other people. We love fans. We love the kids. We love everyone that is associated with this program. It's just another way to give back. I love that. All right, we'll let you go, but did have a couple things on the chat. Your friends on the chat had another question. I lost it already, and when it was up a little bit further, asking you if you were going to coach. Another question. I feel like every time you're on, somebody asks if you're going to coach. Never, ever, ever. And then Crypto King wants your autograph. He asked me if he could have your autograph, and that you should run for president. Of course he can. And you should run for president. But he can absolutely have my autograph. Never president, but you can for sure have the autograph. All right. Well, appreciate your time. Safe travels, and we'll line up a podcast soon. So again, if you've got questions for Jeremiah, just send them my way. We'll get them on the docket for the next time we sit down to record. Again, that'll be coming up with Valentino's Pizza. So that will be before you know it. I mean, we're less than a month out. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Tell Greg to stop slacking and get back in the studio. We'll tell him. All right, Jeremiah Searles, appreciate your time. No problem, guys. Go Big Red. Again, Jeremiah joining us on our Sports Nightly Hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Back with more on the show coming up right after this.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home or one of our 17 dealerships, we make it easy. And our selection of new and pre-owned vehicles means we've got something for everyone on our lot or on its way. Plus, with every vehicle sale, Woodhouse donates to the Food Bank Backpack Program to fight childhood hunger. Make a difference and purchase your next vehicle your way with Woodhouse.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home or one of our 17 dealerships, we make it easy. And our selection of new and pre-owned vehicles means we've got something for everyone on our lot or on its way. Plus, with every vehicle sale, Woodhouse donates to the Food Bank Backpack Program to fight childhood hunger. Make a difference and purchase your next vehicle your way with Woodhouse.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. And speaking of Acres, out on social media today, Jeff Sims has officially signed an NIL deal with Acres. We love Acres around here, of course. I just mentioned they sponsor our broadcast center. They are involved with a lot of what we do. They're great partners of ours. Very cool that they're now involved in the NIL game and getting involved with the quarterback, Jeff Sims. So he's posing next to a John Deere. I got to tell you, Cole, so when they came in one time for an interview, they gave me some cool gear. They have a new Acres beer that they've put out in the last year, but they gave me some hats that I thought, okay, this is, my grandpa would love this. And so I went back, and I'm telling you, and it's cool because it's got the Acres logo, but then on the side it's got the N logo. And he wore that every single day I saw him. I was there for 10 days, and every time he'd go to the farm, he's wearing that. And it is like dirty and filthy. So Acres is even represented out in Western Oklahoma.
It takes a For it to be a man's primary hat, that must be a pretty good hat. So
I just thought maybe he'd wear it from time. I gave him 2, and he wears one out to dinner, like when because it's nice, and then he wears the other every single day. And it's the N logo. He goes to the coffee shop, and people ask him about it, and he brags about it. And so I had no idea that they were going to get not only Acres, Nebraska, and of course he's going to be a fan of me, but Acres and Nebraska got another fan of my grandpa. I knew my parents were, but I was pretty surprised with my grandpa running around us Western Oklahoma with that Acres hat. But very cool, and cool for Jeff Sims to sign that deal with Acres. Again, as mentioned, they do a lot around here with Nebraska athletics, so neat to see. All right, we went along with Sirles, so got to get to our final break before we wrap up hour number 1. Still to come, lots to come here over the next hour here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Back to wrap up hour number 1 coming up after this.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Grant Hansen with Campus News. University of Nebraska leadership has launched a $3 billion fundraising campaign to support education access for Nebraska students. The Only in Nebraska campaign, the largest in university history, will focus on creating scholarships to make education more affordable, attracting more Nebraska students, and keeping young people in the state after graduation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic. Nebraska fans have an opportunity to be a part of the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium in 2023 by purchasing a Through These Gates mini plan. It's a 3-game ticket package that are on sale now. Huskers.com/tickets. The Through These Gates mini plan is priced at $100 to celebrate a century of football at Memorial Stadium. The ticket plan includes a ticket to the non-conference games against Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech, and then your choice of one of the 5 Big Ten home games while supplies last. I need to check on that. I know Greg said last week that he thought Michigan and Iowa were getting pretty thin on the supplies there, so I need to do an update on that, make sure that I'm not telling people wrong. But while supplies last, you can get a choice to one of the 5 Big Ten home games. Again, Huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED or stop on by the ticket office to lock up yours today. One of our favorite texters, Carla, weighed in on the Jeremiah Searles segment. Hi, Jessica. Just once, I wish Sirles would tell us what he really thinks about a subject. He is so wishy-washy, no opinion, with a laughy face. I just love his honest and candid answers, and I greatly appreciate he tells it straight. Thanks, Carla. I absolutely agree. I love that how he breaks things down. I'm not just saying this because we have a podcast together, but to me, I think he's one of the best Husker football analysts that you can hear, and he just has such great perspective because he played here pretty recently, but he's also played in the NFL recently, and now he's representing guys recently. He's staying really involved with both the college and NFL game, and I'm telling you, sometimes you have people that might just show up and talk about just based on the knowledge that they have from playing the game, but he studies. He does a lot of film work. He dives into a ton of film on opponents. He watches Nebraska film. He's a film nerd, like a lot of these coaching staff, a lot of the coaches on this coaching staff. He loves watching film, and so he has such a great perspective. And you can ask him really anything, and he'll tell you about. I've said that a lot, Cole. I have in my career have found that some of the best perspectives and breakdowns and understanding of the game have come from offensive linemen, quarterbacks, and linebackers. But I mean, Sirles is one of the best there is. I know I'm biased, but I think he's no doubt one of the best out there right now.
He's really good at it, and I think what he's primarily really good at is just articulating really well his thought process, because when he used to be a player, he has a very keen sense of how to explain what those guys are thinking, because they all have to be of the same mind. They all have to be kind of 5 minds in one, and he's does that really well. So,
the thing about offensive line is they have to understand so much. Like you said, I mean, it's 5 guys, the unit. They take a lot of the criticism, don't get a lot of the credit, but they have to understand all the defenses in a way that not every position group does. And, just kind of the understanding of all the X's and O's. It's just, they have to do it to a level that not every position does. And so I think that just allows for a perspective that you don't always get. And so I've always found that some of the most I've learned from the game of football, because I came from a high school that didn't have football, and I played basketball, and it was a big baseball school. My brother played baseball, and so I got into football a little bit later in life, and I learned the most by diving in and picking the brains of offensive linemen. I have throughout the years. So, appreciate that perspective, Carla. I agree. He's got a great. I learn every time I sit down and talk to him. And again, we'll have podcast series coming up again this year. We'll sit down with him again coming up soon enough. All right, hour number 1. What a fast hour. I mean, I think it just goes by faster and faster every time. Hour number 2, Garrett McGuire, wide receivers coach. Greg Sharpe was able to sit down with him before he left for the week, dive into all the guys in his wide receiver room. We're also going to hear from Xavier Betts. Had a great conversation with him, so make sure you stick around. Come back for hour number 2 here on Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Hello, tomorrow. We may not know exactly what you've got in store for us, for our routines and our normals. But here's the thing. Turns out, we've got this. We haven't seen everything, but we have seen ourselves be more ready for whatever you bring than we thought we would be. So when it comes to tomorrow, bring on the day. First Interstate, built for you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Visit us at firstinterstate.com.
When you're a fan, you wear your team's jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. After a win, your world glistens. Lose, and the hurt permeates your soul. You'll always have a place with us in the Cox Fan Zone, where everyone can play and connect with other fans in a big group hug. See, in the Fan Zone, you're not some crazy fan. You're home.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe, voice of the Huskers. Say Fan Zone into your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit cox.com/fanzone. Go Huskers.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cole Hartman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. It is the All-Star Week in Major League Baseball, and it's been nothing short of exciting thus far. Last night, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. of the Blue Jays prevailed in the Home Run Derby. Randy Arozarena of the Rays made things interesting, but Vladdy bested him 25-23 in the final round. And taking place tonight, the best from the American League and National League face off in the All-Star game. Garrett Cole of the Yankees has earned the start for the AL, and Zach Gallen of the Diamondbacks for the NL. First pitch is set to be thrown in just a few minutes out in Seattle at T-Mobile Park. The Big Ten Conference announced the opponent rotation for the 2023-24 wrestling season earlier this afternoon. The Huskers are set to host Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, and Purdue, and they will travel to conference matchups with Minnesota, Northwestern, Penn State, and Wisconsin. The complete schedule will be released with more details on dates and times when that is finalized. Turning over to NU men's hoops, the date and location has been released for the Huskers and Blue Jays game. The game is set for Sunday, December 3rd at PBA, with the tip-off time and TV information to be determined. And finally, some NBA Summer League updates to provide. The Nets took down the Bucks earlier this afternoon, 92-71, and the Rockets are up on the Thunder, 90-78 midway through the fourth. Just about to tip off is the Suns and the Pelicans, and at 7:30, it's the Trailblazers and the Hornets. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student-athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Simon gets the shotgun snap. Huskers send a corner blitz. Simon step throws. Pass intercepted. Picked off by Miles Farmer.
Go,
to
baby.
The 35, to the 30. Rook tied down to the 27-yard line. Miles Farmer's fourth career INT.
Yes!
3 eligible to the near side. Back to throw is Morgan. Stepping up, gets hit, dropped. Oh, he got drilled at the 18-yard line. Ty Robinson's second sack of the year. I think he took his shoes off with that hit.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly, and we have got a big hour coming up for you. We're going to hear from Xavier Betts, wide receiver out of Omaha, coming up here in just a few minutes. Second segment, but we're going to hear from his position coach first. Greg Sharpe is out this week, but before he left, he was able to record a few of his series of interviews with the assistant coaches that we will air throughout these next few weeks here on the program. And he was able to sit down with Garrett McGuire and chat with him about the guys in his room.
How are you doing? How's the acclimation for you to Lincoln, Nebraska been?
Yes, sir. It's been a lot better now that it's a little warmer weather. You know, it's kind of what I'm used to. No, but I'm fired up to be back. May was awesome, getting out on the road, going back to see some high school coaches, and it was a little bit more fun than January because you got to like watch them practice. You know, you go to Lake Travis, you go to Vandergrift, DeSoto, and you're like, oh, that's why they're really, really good. They practice at a high level. And in June, we've been full tilt in June, recruiting, camps. You know, we went to Texas to do 2 camps, and we found a Husker commit. It was a big deal, and you know, we had some fun. We got to meet with some Houston coaches there, and it's been a good June.
Let me ask you about your room. I mean, you've been around the guys now for 6 months or so. How would you characterize the guys you're coaching?
They are fun. They have matched my energy, which is pretty crazy to say, but they've matched my energy. We got some dudes with just a natural toughness and edge to them, but they are working really, really hard. That is one thing you can say about our room is we are working our tails off.
You like the chemistry in there?
Oh, yes, sir. You know, they're all, you know, we're a family, right? We have this kind of creed, PTF, which means protect the family, and we really are a family.
Let's get through some names on this group, and I'm going to start with some names that Husker fans maybe are more familiar with because they played some here. And let's start with Marcus Washington. He transferred a year ago from Texas, made some big plays last fall for this team. What did you see from Marcus in the spring, and what are your expectations for him?
I have the highest expectations for Marcus. You see a guy with, I talked about just being tough. He's tough. He's going to block in the run game. He's going to be very, very explosive in the pass game. He's long. He can catch the ball in front of his eyes. He kind of leads that room a little bit when it comes to toughness. And, he's very accepting to coaching. He's locked on to me and just kind of hangs on every word that I say, which is really, really awesome to see an older guy do that. He's a smart player. He's played a lot of football. He knows all three spots, and he'll be able to play all three spots for us. So, I'm really, really excited about Marcus.
The next name, I'm going to throw two together because they kind of have similar stories, that they've made plays for the Huskers, but when you walked in the door, they weren't here. But they're back now. That's Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda and Xavier Betts. Talk about what you've seen from them since they've come back to the program, and can they help this football team?
Oh, my gosh. Those two, they're hungry. They're so hungry, and it's not that they're grateful, but they are. They're very excited to be Huskers again. They're very excited to be coached by Coach Rule, Coach Satt, myself. You talk about a guy that graduated, didn't graduate, but he got 21 hours in the fall in the spring, just to be eligible for us.
And that's Zavier. Yes,
sir. That's Xavier Betts. And then IGC put on 7 pounds of muscle in the spring. He kind of, he's another guy that knows all three spots, right? And, he's very, very dependable, good route runner, great hands. He's kind of matched my enthusiasm in the run game about, how we want to play. And then Xavier Betts, he looks different than all those other dudes, when it just comes to, you see him burst off the football. You see some of the catches he makes and, just how long he is. And then he's another guy that's from Omaha, and that means something to us. You talk about Coach Rule. We want to play with kids that grew up watching Husker football.
It's a great story for both of them to never close the door, right? That there's maybe a second chance and to grab it and run with it.
Right. Yes, sir. And they have. They really, really have. We're asking a lot out of them. IGC is going to graduate this August with his degree, and he's going to move on to that kind of master's plan. And then Zay, Zay's he's doing his job. He's killing it.
Good. Transfer portal is certainly a big part of college football anymore, and you guys were able to get in there and find Billy Kemp out of Virginia. Looked pretty good in the spring, the practices I was at in the spring game. Your thoughts about Billy?
Yes, sir. Billy just has, and what he's brought to this room is just an edge, right? He plays with a natural edge. You talk about a guy, he's probably 5'8" on a good day. He's just got a chip on his shoulder. And him and I, we can really, play off each other because, if I chew his tail and then Jaden Doss sees me chew his tail and it's like, oh, as a fifth-year senior, listen to Coach. That's a big deal. And then you talk about another guy, in my opinion, it's really, really fun to play receiver in our offense. And some of the stuff we're going to do really, really fits him because of how smart he is, how decisive he is, and, just some of his change of direction and how he catches the football.
Speaking of transfer portals, you went back to Baylor and found Joshua, right? It had to be kind of cool to have him back in your room.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I always say, we installed a play the other day and he's on the tape, and I think it's really cool, and it's cool for some of those guys to see, hey, there's Josh making plays when he was at Baylor, because he's a guy, you look at his tape and he's an explosive football player. He's dynamic when he gets the ball in his hands, just dynamic, has almost like a running back type style when he gets the ball in his hands. And then he's another dude, he's about 204 pounds right now. He's a big receiver, that I think we're going to be able to use him in a lot of ways, possibly in the return game, just kind of move him around a little bit, just find ways to get him the ball.
You've had a lot of additions, Coach. And again, we're talking with Coach McGuire. We're talking wide receivers on our position breakdown. You've had a handful of guys who just got here a few weeks ago, true freshmen in the program. And so I'm going to start picking off their names. Let's start with Malachi, who's from Lincoln. And I know he wasn't part of spring practice, but every practice I went to, he was there, watching from the sidelines. Your initial thoughts on Malachi Coleman?
Malachi can be as good as he wants to be. He's a good football player, and he's got a natural motivation. He's very self-motivated. He comes from two great mom and dad. They're awesome. They've always been there for me, and they're there for this team. But he's kind of the leader of that freshman crew right now, just from what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing. He's got a voice in the room. It's pretty cool to hear him answer questions because it puts pressure on some of those other freshmen because, hey, he's answering this question at a really, really high level. The other guys don't know that, but also Malachi's ahead, so it kind of speeds up their learning process a little bit. But he's doing a really good job. I've been actually impressed with just watching him live. He obviously been around me and been to some meetings, but I never got to watch him live.
Yeah.
And watch him live, I'm really, really excited. He's a good football player.
So he took advantage of those mental reps that we hear so much about, right, during
spring? Absolutely. You'll see. I mean, there's like a few pictures floating around where it's me coaching and he's like right over my shoulder. So he was taking up as much knowledge as he could at those practices.
Coach, I was in the office the day that Demetrius Bell committed, and there was a lot of buzz and excitement. I know you guys are excited about Demetrius.
Yes, sir, I am. He's a guy from Tennessee that's tough, a lot like Coach Satt, and I want to make sure Coach Satt hears that I said that. But no, he plays really, really fast. That's what I like about him. We're running some routes on air, and you see him. There's some stuff in our offense that kind of ask you to be a little bit decisive, and he plays fast. He's very, very confident football player. You can kind of see that. He'll jump up to the front of the line, even though he's just a freshman and doesn't know no better. But he's decisive, and he knows he's a good player.
Of all the coaches I've talked to the series of reports, you're probably the biggest disadvantage because about half of your room, you haven't been on the field with them yet during practice, but I know you're excited for that. Jeremiah Searles, lay it out for us on Jeremiah.
Oh, man. I love coaching Jeremiah because he's probably 25 minutes away from where I grew up. I grew up scrimmaging Coach Wager, and I'm excited about him. You just see just the athlete he is. He went to state in the triple jump. Probably should have went to state in basketball, but still, he is a very, very good athlete, and he just comes from Coach Wager's program, and you know what you're getting when you're getting a Martin kid, of just a tough, gritty, a player that's, put the work in, and he ain't going to shy away from working. That's what I like about JJ.
Coach, down through the years, Husker football's had a lot of great players from the Kansas City area. You got one in Jaden Doss. Your thoughts about him, what you like on his tape, and what have you gleaned from being around him a short time?
Oh, you turn on his tape and you just see this competitive football player. He strains to get extra yards, very dynamic with the ball in his hands, obviously. Kind of reminds me of a few players that I coached in the past. But he's another guy that, he's kind of, you see Malachi Coleman, you see Jaden Doss, and they're on the jugs, they're in the playbook, they're working their tail off right now because they expect a lot of each other, and they know that this 2023 class can be a really, really big part of Husker football.
You talked about Jeremiah Searles being a really good track athlete. So is Jalen Lloyd. Did some really good things up in the Omaha metro area. What piqued your interest about Jalen?
Jalen is so springy and explosive. He puts his foot in the ground. He gets faster. He can accelerate. And you see a guy, he's got really good ball skills too. Just the little that I've gotten to watch him over these past couple weeks, he's got good ball skills. And he's another guy that I can't say it enough. He's from Omaha, and it means something. His mom went here, was a track athlete here, so it means something for him to wear the scarlet,
He got all that from his mom, I think.
Right.
I think that's right. Let's go back to Texas. Bryce Turner, another guy that I know that you were pretty excited about.
Yes, sir. Really excited about Bryce. Being from Bay City, South Texas. It kind of is a testament to who we are, staff-wise. That's a pretty far way to go to get a kid. That's about hour and a half, 2 hours outside of Houston. Yeah. So, that's a testament to Coach Rule and Coach Terrence Knighton. They went and got that kid, and he is awesome. He comes from a great family. They all drove up, all 17 of them, to drop him off. So he's a little far away from home, but he's having fun, and it's good that we got some guys that are from Texas, so they can kind of start to I'm not just around some Omaha kids or kids from all over. Like, they have a little bit of a chemistry. You see more familiar faces than you think when you get around this building. But he's another guy that he's working hard. He what I love about him is just he's a prepared guy. He really is. You know, he's going to be about 45 minutes early to every lift just so he can get his body right, get some nutrition. And to start that at a young age, that's a big deal.
Yeah, we're visiting with Husker wide receivers coach Garrett McGuire here on Sports On It, breaking down those wide receivers. I didn't know whether to ask you or Coach Cooper, DeAndre Barnes, and maybe an arm wrestling match at some point in time. Right now, I think he's in your room.
Right, yes, sir. Yeah, we're probably going to do that with a few kids, you know, over the next few years, because just the way we recruit. But DeAndre, you know, he fits the mold of how we recruit. He's really, really fast. He's really, really big. You know, he can change directions. He's a guy that got here about 2 weeks ago, so he's about a week behind just because of school in Colorado. But he's doing good. You know, he just, like, you plug him in and he started going. You know, it's just really, really impressive. A guy that can just plug in and play. You kind of want that kid on your roster.
Garrett, I know you guys know this. The walk-on program has been so much a part of Husker football down through the decades. And you got walk-ons in your room. Ty Hahn comes to mind, and Cooper Hausman and Alex Bullock. Those guys, I know, that they fill a role, don't they, on this team? There's a real importance to them.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. I'm really fired up you got to ask about that because, you know, they mean a bunch to me. You know, those are the first guys.
Are they treated any differently?
Absolutely not. But you talk about those guys, like, you talk about Ty Hahn and Alex Bullock. You better strap up when you go play those two. Cooper Hausman, you better strap up and you better play through the whistle because they will find a way to kind of punk you on tape. You know, they have, you know, just have that edge that, you know, most walk-ons have, you know, that you've kind of been doubted your whole life. So every time they get a chance to put something on tape, they are. And then Alex and Ty, you know, they're true route runners. They're good football players, you know, that are again, local kids that, you know, we want to win with, we want to play with. Then you go and you talk about Roman Mangini, another guy who has probably had the biggest June of them all. And the reason I say that is because if you watch him coach camps, he is going to be a heck of a football coach one day. He is coaching those kids up. Tavion Thompson, another kid that's doing really, really well. Baron Miles, you know, whose dad's played here. He's doing good. He's playing faster. You know, you watch him yesterday, and they're just running routes, and you can kind of see him when we're running routes on air. You can see him, it's starting to, you know, kind of click and get going just of how fast he can play. Because you kind of always knew he's a fast player, but just, now he's processing even faster.
Good. Well, I know the highlight of most coaches' year is when you can finally get out there and get camp going, because that's what you guys live for, is the actual coaching on the field and during practice sessions. Have a great camp. Let's keep everybody healthy, but I know it's going to be competitive in your room. Right.
Yes, sir. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to have an exciting August for sure.
What a fun conversation there. It was pretty cool. So yesterday, today's the 11th, right? So yesterday, Joey McGuire put out a picture on his social, so Garrett's dad. Great being at Nebraska with my guy, Garrett McGuire. Let's go. And then even did a hashtag GBR with the Nebraska big screen in the background, which is really cool. It was funny. Greg said something about, he just called me Sir a lot. And I said, I think that's a Texas thing because I had Dr. Susan Ells in here and she's calling me ma'am. And then even S.J. Humes, who's also on the staff from Texas, she was calling me ma'am. And I think they say ma'am and sir. I think that's just what they do in Texas. Right, Cole?
That's probably it. They also call soda like Coke, right?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I'll have to ask maybe the Texas folks about that. I was also disappointed that it just came out today. This was really cool. So an article on the Dallas Morning News that came out today, I believe, that was talking about Joey McGuire's daughter, Garrett's sister, who designed a dress for Taylor Swift that's in her tour right now that's going on, that's breaking all the internet, all the TikToks, bringing in millions of dollars that people couldn't get tickets to. Like, everybody wants to go to this concert, and one of the dresses she wears was designed by Garrett's sister, Joey's daughter. How impressive is that? I mean, if you're Joey McGuire and you're talking about your kids, you got to be pretty proud dad, right? Nothing?
Yes. Sorry, I wasn't near the mic.
Hey, I'm a huge Swiftie. I like Taylor Swift. I have maintained that if you're trying to sell out Memorial Stadium again, Taylor Swift is one of the artists that would absolutely sell out Memorial Stadium, obviously. So I think that is awesome. I thought that was really cool. I totally geeked out over that. All right, there was Garrett McGuire's conversation with Greg Sharpe. We've had some issues again with our app and switching over to the new website and the new app. And so we have not been able to post podcasts, but we just got that figured out today. So if you missed the conversation last night, Greg sat down with Donovan Raiola, which was great interview. And then tonight with Garrett McGuire, we will post that on our podcast platforms tomorrow morning. And so if you prefer to listen to the audio version, or if you missed anything, and even in the future episodes, future interviews with Greg and the assistant coaches, we will have that all out on our normal platforms. We've just kind of been working through some of that. So stay tuned for that. And we got to work in a break. Coming up next, Xavier Betts, wide receiver. We heard from the wide receivers coach. Now we'll hear from the wide receiver coming up next. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Husker fans, the 2023 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support celebrating the 100th year of Memorial Stadium. Purchase a special Husker football through these gates mini plan. For only $100, you will be at the Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech games, plus your choice of one home Big Ten game. 3 games for only $100. Tickets available while supplies last. Purchase your Through These Gates mini plan today. For more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. The only designated R1 research university in Nebraska, UNL's innovations power economic growth, precision ag production, tech breakthroughs, and future leaders in Nebraska. With the highest graduation rates and highest median earnings for recent grads of any public university in Nebraska, UNL is doing big things for our state.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, you think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Hey, congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
When you're a fan, you wear your team's jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. After a win, your world glistens. Lose, and the hurt permeates your soul. You'll always have a place with us in the Cox Fan Zone, where everyone can play and connect with other fans in a big group hug. See, in the Fan Zone, you're not some crazy fan. You're home.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe, voice of the Huskers. Say Fan Zone into your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit cox.com/fanzone. Go Huskers.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Rich from Harlan County, Nebraska said, kudos to you and your grandfather, Jessica. A Husker hat worn every day in Oklahoma made my day. I'm going to tell my pa that because he'll love to hear that. But yeah, no, he loves supporting that hat down in western Oklahoma. All right, we took a little bit of time there in segment one, so we're going to get right to this. Xavier Betts, most Husker fans know his story well, out of Bellevue West High School, and came to Nebraska, had some pretty really jaw-dropping plays. You saw his explosiveness on some plays, but quit football a year ago. He came back to it, entered the transfer portal, talked to this coaching staff, decided he wanted to stay. So recently at the media day that we had here a few weeks ago, I had a chance to chat with him about all of that.
It feels really good. There's really no other feeling like this, to be here with the guys, to be here with you guys, to have really the spotlight back on me in a good way. It's really nice.
So you just left the hype up room that goes on the big screens. I mean, how exciting is that to start thinking about, okay, it'll be here before you know it, that you'll be running out there in front of that crowd again?
Honestly, it feels really good, and it's like, really, there's nothing compared to this, and the amount of excitement and energy that we have going into this, doing these videos, getting ready to see all the fans, there's nothing like it.
All right, well, I know you made fans really, really happy when you came back and you put that uniform back on. Take me through that process of deciding that you wanted to play football again, you wanted to come back here to Nebraska.
It was honestly a really, really easy decision for me to come back and to play. But I really did it for my family and then for the fans, really, because I know a lot of people were sad when I left. And honestly, I feel like I let everybody down, so I wanted to come back and show everybody.
So you enter the portal and then you start having conversations with this coaching staff. What were those conversations like to be able to come back and play here and go through things here this spring?
Really, it was Coach Rule wanted to help me work on myself as a person. He knew what I could do on the field, and he knows where his guys and his program can take me on the field. But our main focus has been off the field, and that's what we tackled this past semester.
Why did you believe in him and want to come back and play for him?
Because he believed in me, and I honestly just couldn't say no. Like, having somebody like him come in and believe in me after me leaving, I couldn't say no.
One of the things that you did this past spring, you took 21 credit hours. How in the world did you manage that in spring football and everything else? I
had a lot of help from the tutors and from the coaches and my family and some of my friends too, because at times it did get really difficult, but I had everybody pushing me and keeping me going forward.
How important was that for you when you came back to make sure that you were doing everything right to be able to earn the trust of the staff?
That was my only goal, was earning their trust. So I did anything and everything they asked me to, and I made sure I did it exactly how they wanted it.
So how did it feel that first time when you got back out on the field?
It was unbelievable. It felt like it was my first time being on the field again.
What were some of the things that you were trying to do this spring to get back and maybe earn a spot, to get a feel for it again? What were you trying to accomplish throughout the spring? Really just trying to get down the plays and as fast as I could and have those memorized, and then just work as hard as I could every day. Well, tell us about the wide receiver room. You got some additions, some guys that are coming back. What's that look like? How does the competition look for you guys? Honestly, the competition, there's not one person on that room that couldn't play on that field on a Saturday night. Everybody in that room has the talent and the ability to play, and it's really just day by day of who wants to be the best and who's going to work for it. Been some changes to the quarterback room as well, but how much faith and belief do you have in Jeff Sims, Shepard Purdy, the rest of that quarterback room, Heinrich Harburg, all of those guys? I have all the faith and all the trust in the world in them that they're going to get their jobs done like they do for me to get my job done. So I have no doubts in my mind about them. You know, they've talked, all of them, talked about how it's a group effort. It's a room that they're doing things together. It's not just one guy. What have you seen in that regard, and that they're all kind of coming together and they want to be kind of the leaders of the offensive, and it's not just one guy carrying the load? It's constantly them texting in our group chats, figuring out what days people want to go throw, just kind of me, kind of talk about the plays, whatever. It's all of them. It's not just Jeff this week or Chubba this week. All of them are texting constantly, just hounding us almost to make sure we know everything. Have you, I'm assuming you guys have gotten in there and done extra work in building that chemistry. I know that's really important in the offseason. Well, how important is that to be able to do that and establish that before you go into fall camp? It's extremely important, especially getting ready, like before fall camp, doing that now, getting our timing down with our routes, his steps. When we get into fall camp, that's one less thing we have to worry about. We can focus on who we're going to play in the coming weeks, focus on what we need to fix, and just only getting better from there. How did you feel when you closed the chapter on spring ball? How did you feel about where you were at, where your game was at? Honestly, I was in a way better spot than I thought I'd been, especially taking a year off. I thought I had done so much better than I thought I would. So I had zero complaints about the spring. I know you were named these quarterbacks talked about. So how motivating is it to get in there and be a guy that they can rely on and be a playmaker for this offense? It feels amazing having the trust of my teammates back, and just knowing that they believe in me just pushes me to a whole different level and makes me want to try so much harder just for them. You haven't lost any of that speed, right? No, not at all. If not, I've gotten faster. Oh, I like that. What's your goal for this summer? What are you trying to do personally before you hit the ground running for fall camp? I want to put on some weight. I want to get to at least 220. I definitely want to get faster, and I just want to know the playbook inside and out. How much do you like this playbook and Coach Satterfield's offense? A lot. It's probably one of the best playbooks I've had while playing football. It's very easy to understand. Coach Sat has laid it out very smoothly for all of us and makes it very easy. And just overall for the offense, what do you guys need to do before you hit the ground again together on the fall camp? Like what leads up to getting ready for fall camp as a group? Honestly, kind of the same thing Coach Rule's been saying, just building a better brotherhood, bigger brotherhood, just including everybody, even if it's just in small stuff and just hanging out around the house or something, just being around each other more. You excited about moving into those dorms? Yeah. Did you hear about that? Yeah, I was a little shocked because I had a little suspicion of that, because I was like, they said we were moving in, and I'm like, wait, we're moving into the dorms? And they were like, it's like, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like, dog, that's not the move. I was like, oh no. Hey, that's what they do in the NFL, right? Yeah, but it'll be worth it. It'll give us all a new experience. Who would be number one on the list for your roommate to live in the dorms with? Number one, it's tough because I either got Nuri Nuili or I got to pick Tamon Lynham. Okay, what is it about those guys? When I first got here, actually before I got here, Tamon was the first friend that I had made that was coming to Nebraska. And then after I got here, Nuri was the second friend that I had made while being up here. So those two are like my best friends. That's awesome. Just throughout this conversation, you just seem very thankful and grateful. What kind of perspective do you have going into this fall camp and everything that you went through to get to this point? Like I did in the past, I'm just going to give it everything I got and not necessarily hope for the best, but know that I can produce well and know that that's going to take me somewhere far. Xavier Betts, appreciate your time. No problem. Thank you. Man, I really enjoyed it chatting with him. It was great to see him back in uniform. For reference, if you're watching on our YouTube stream, I'm 5'8", almost 5'8", and I was wearing 2-inch heels at least. I had on my wedge tennis shoes, so he's tall, right? And let's get up to 220, I believe he just said. And so that's a pretty good weapon to be able to throw the football to. And then, you know, I think I've said this a lot, and even Malachi Coleman talked about this too, but just there's a lot of different kinds of wide receivers, right? I mean, there's a lot of talent in that room. You heard Garrett McGuire talk about how excited he is about the group, but there's a lot of different kinds of wide receivers that I think they're going to have some options to do some fun things with in this offense. But so happy for Zavier. And again, you heard Coach McGuire really raving about the job that he's done to do everything right to be able to get to this point. We heard Coach Rule talking about him, and I know that just seeing a Nebraska kid thrive in this kind of situation, I know it makes a lot of Husker fans really happy, and he just, again, from my interactions with him, I've really enjoyed getting to chat with him, and so hopefully expect to see big things from Xavier Betts, and I think these quarterbacks like throwing the football to him from what we saw throughout spring football. All right, got to get to another break here on Sports Nightly, but if you want to watch Xavier Betts and any of this Husker football team in action this football season, you have an opportunity to be a part of the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium in 2023 by purchasing a Through These Gates mini plan. It's a 3-game ticket package priced at $100 to celebrate a century of football inside Memorial Stadium. The ticket plan includes a ticket to non-conference games against Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech, and one of the 5 Big Ten home games while supplies last. Visit Huskers.com/tickets or call the ticket office at 1-800-8-BIG-RED or stop by the ticket office in person. All right, got to work in a break here on Sports Nightly. Keep it right here. We got more to come.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. More than $145 million in gross revenue has been generated by startup companies, founded by alumni of UNL's Angler Agribusiness Entrepreneurship Program, since the program began in 2010. With over 230 Angler Program alumni growing businesses across Nebraska, the Angler Program is making a big impact on the lives of students, alumni, and Nebraskans.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Jeb Brandt in Hastings or Callie Schilke in Imperial today.
The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. 402-413-2400, the number to call or text in. Did have some text messages I wanted to get to. We had a couple interviews, so haven't been able to get to those. John in Omaha sent so impressed, capital S-O, so impressed with Coach McGuire. He seems mature beyond his years. He's got an amazing future, in my opinion, and I hope it's right here at Nebraska. John in Omaha. I agree. I think a lot of people do, and I think for all of the doubters and naysayers, you see the success he's had on the recruiting trail, but I go by what I've heard from his players, and we'll know more as it goes along. But I talked to Malachi Coleman. You heard his interview a few weeks back, and he said, I asked him, what's it like playing for Coach McGuire? What's it been like building that relationship? And he said, he's going to be a head coach one day. And all of them talk about his knowledge, his vision of the game, how he's able to break it down, and how much they enjoy playing for him. So I think that's an excellent observation there, John. And then Art in Los Angeles said, hi, Jessica, can you announce when the Big Ten Media Days start and how long does it last? So it's coming up the 26th and the 27th. Nebraska is set to go on the 27th, and Greg is planning on going. So right now, from everything I understand, Greg will be there, and Greg will be getting all kinds of content there at Big Ten Media Days. I'll be back here in Lincoln, so we'll be kind of tag teaming that week as well. But 26th and 27th of July, and Greg will be there. So that should be fun. We'll get lots of great content. Once you know Media Days, so Big 12 Media Days start tomorrow. And once those Media Days start happening, it seems like, all right, football season is here. It happens so quickly once you start having talking season for a couple weeks, and then the actual season is here. Cole, there's also been a discussion on the chat, on the YouTube chat, about favorite numbers. I'm not sure how it started. There's a lot going on here, and so, but somehow they got into the discussion of what number you would wear, what's your favorite number. So what's your favorite jersey number?
My favorite jersey number was just my number. It was number 11. That's
Okay.
what I had through youth baseball. If I had the choice, I would have picked number 4 because of Alex Gordon, who was a Lincoln native.
Yeah.
Number 4 on the Royals.
Which is Max Anderson. That's
For real.
That was his favorite.
But sometimes, with those select baseball teams, it's not quite up to you what number you get. You gotta get what you get.
And I'm
so.
sure a lot of kids wanted to wear his number.
They did, yeah.
Okay, so mine, I always wore 22. My mom wore 22, so I'm 22 all the way. So a huge fan, Lindsay Krause. That's it. When she's a freshman, she wore 22. Not only me, my mom, my dad, big fans of Lindsay Krause, number 22 there. So yeah, I'm number 22 all the way. All right, got to work at another break here. I know we've gone long and had to do a couple short segments, but we got to work in our final break. But we're back to wrap up the show next. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home or one of our 17 dealerships, we make it easy. And our selection of new and pre-owned vehicles means we've got something for everyone on our lot or on its way. Plus, with every vehicle sale, Woodhouse donates to the Food Bank Backpack Program to fight childhood hunger. Make a difference and purchase your next vehicle your way with Woodhouse.
FNBO free checking is checking that's actually free. No fees or minimums, and now no overdraft fees. It's ever so personal, with people to help every step of the way. And easy, with a mobile app that allows you to deposit checks and manage your account wherever you are. So make the switch so you can do more with the great big small bank. Visit FNBO.com to learn more or stop on by. FNBO free checking. It's ever so free. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Final segment here. Man, this show has gone by so fast. I feel like we just started the show, but appreciate the texts that are rolling in on the text line. Got a couple of texts that rolling in how much they love Jeremiah, and even Sam in Omaha had recommended us doing a podcast from Valentino's. We've had Val's delivered to the studio. Cole, I don't believe you were working here full time yet, so you missed out on that, I believe. But maybe we can work something out. I think Jeremiah would be all for that. So we will have to maybe figure that out. I will throw that out there. But yeah, we big fans of our friends at Val's. Just got a few more minutes left here on the segment. I did want to bring this up. I feel like we've had so much going on over the last couple of shows. I haven't been able to say this, but I went back to Oklahoma last week and had a lot of people almost everybody that I interacted with asked me about Jordy Ball, because when I went back to Oklahoma the last time, Jordy was playing in the World Series. So the Women's College World Series was going on when I was back in Oklahoma the last time. But then when I went back over the 4th, I mean, I can't tell you how many people asked me about Jordy and just and the support, how great the support was for her. And I've got a lot of friends that have young daughters that are now Nebraska fans. And even my little cousin, she told me that she's got 3 favorite teams now: Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, her dad played at Oklahoma State, and now Nebraska. And so I think it's been really neat to see that Oklahoma fans, they might stay Oklahoma fans, but now they're going to be Nebraska fans because they're Jordy Ball fans. So I thought that was really neat to see and hear the response, especially from the young girls that are young girls in Oklahoma that now want to be Nebraska fans. And they've all asked me about gear. And so I have put in a request. I passed that along. Can we please get more Nebraska softball gear and T-shirts and little girl sizes too? So hopefully that will come as well, especially once we get closer to Nebraska softball season. I even mentioned it to Coach Ravel when she was in here in season, but I thought that was really neat and I wanted to talk about it, but I just didn't have time the last couple of shows because it's been so busy. Cole, we've got to get to this because, again, we had the Nebraska football road race we've talked about over the last few weeks. You are going to run it. We're going to get you signed up before tomorrow. The deadline before the prices go up tomorrow. It's tomorrow. And so we're going to get you signed up. And we were talking, you and I, during a break last night about, you asked me, what's a good time to run a 5K? Do you have a time in mind that you're looking to hit?
In some sense, we'll just have to wait and see. But I would think I could run, it's been a while, but I could run a mile in about 8 minutes. The problem is, you know, when you have to start.
It's 2.5 miles, I believe.
3, I think. I think a 5K is 3-ish.
Almost 3.
Yeah.
Not quite 3, I don't think.
But the problems arise when you start stacking miles. I'm hoping 25 minutes, somewhere between 25, 28.
Obviously, I'm not a runner. I don't know what a 5K entails. I don't even know what a good time is. I couldn't tell Cole. So that's why we're saying this now. We need you, the listeners, to let us know what you think is a good time for Cole to try to hit. I told him if he's going to run this thing, he needs to go represent Huskers Radio Network really well. So you guys let us know what time Cole needs to be kind of thinking about throughout this week as he gets himself mentally prepared, hydrated, fueled, all of the above to get ready to run the Husker football road race coming up on Sunday, July 16th. What a fun show. I mean, again, just flew by. Appreciate all the interaction on the text line and then on our chat, our YouTube chat as well. Those guys are great. We've got fun stuff coming up for the next couple of shows as well. I think I told you guys wrong. Terrence Knighton, we have not talked to him yet. So we're going to hear from Ed Foley coming up tomorrow night, as well as Ramel Lloyd from Nebraska men's basketball. So still lots of fun stuff headed your way over the next couple of nights. So we'll see you back here on Sports Nightly coming up tomorrow night. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.